Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Brittany and here on YouTube I share tips and strategies to help you start and grow the handmade shop of your dreams. So if you plan to open up a handmade shop or you are already selling something but you need a little bit of help in actually making sales and growing your shop, then definitely hit subscribe to stay updated when I put out new videos. In this video I'm going to be sharing with you 10 reasons why you might not be making sales on Etsy. I know how frustrating it is to open up your shop and then just hear crickets when you were expecting to hear a lot of cha-chings and a lot of sales coming in, and how that really takes a toll on your self-confidence. You might have had this vision of how this shop was going to go. You might have had friends and family that were loving your products and telling you to open up this handmade shop, but when you do, you're not getting the sales and the success that you expected. And yeah, I just want to come on here and give you 10 reasons why you might not be making those sales so that you can tweak those things and start seeing the sales come in. But before we get into the video, I just want to let you know that down below I do have a free Etsy success checklist linked that you can get for free, like I said. If you want to open up your shop on the right foot, or if you have already opened up your shop and you just want to go through and make sure you have everything checked off and in place to see that rapid success that you want, then go ahead and click that link down below and you can get that. Also, and this is the last thing I'll say before we get into the video, I also have a Facebook group linked down below. I just opened that up, and it's just a place for handmade shop owners to connect and ask questions and seek support on everything related to running their handmade shop, whether it's SEO or their packaging or communicating with customers. Or if you aren't making sales and you just want to bring that to the group and say, hey, does anybody have any ideas why I'm not making sales? That's what that group is for. So I would love if you would join that and we can create this awesome community of people supporting one another. Okay, without further ado, let's get into the 10 reasons why you might not be making sales in your Etsy shop. Okay, so the first reason, and what I always talk about in pretty much every single video, is SEO. That is because it is the absolute most important thing about your shop. I mean, obviously, you need to have quality items and quality photos. But if you have quality items and quality photos, that literally doesn't matter if you don't have really strong SEO in place. If you're not too familiar with SEO, it is search engine optimization. So it is getting your listings ranking in search from like page 20 to preferably page 1. It is the only way to make sales because it is the only way to get eyes on your listings, unless you are bringing traffic in from social media sources, which is a different story, but you still want to have some really strong SEO in place so that when people go to Etsy and they, are searching for something that they want, your listings will actually come up when they search the things that they want. So let's just talk about it briefly. I do have other videos about SEO, but to just briefly talk about the biggest, most important aspects of SEO that a lot of people skip over and really hurts their shop is your tags. First and foremost, making sure all 13 of your tags are niche keywords. So don't be using tags that are like a color like blue, or even a scent like vanilla or whatever. You want to be using very niche specific tags that relate to your item and your shop. Also, make sure your title contains very strong keywords, like the absolute strongest ones that you have in your tags. You really only need a couple, but you need your title to be strong and enticing for customers when they see it. That's all I'm going to say about SEO. I mean, I could talk about it for forever, but like I said, I have other videos on it. So if you want to check those out, head down to the description. The second reason you might not be making sales is, does your product stand out? And I'm not just talking about having really great photos or even a really great item. Obviously that's important, but like, how is your shop and your item different than the others? It just has to be a little bit different. Something that when a customer is scrolling, they see it and they say, oh, that's unique, that's cool, I like that, let me check that out. So this is going to require a little bit of creativity. Maybe the item that you initially wanted to start selling, maybe it doesn't have something that's like super unique about it. What can you do to kind of just put a unique spin on what everybody else is doing so that your shop can stand out? Obviously, don't take this too far. You still want your listings to be relevant to what people are wanting and what they're searching for. But what is just some unique spin you can put on your product so that not only can you rank for those niche keywords, which you absolutely need to be seen in search, but also so that your listings catch people's eye and make them want to click through and purchase. The third reason you might not be making sales is your description and your shop info. So I see so many weak descriptions on Etsy, and it's such a downfall because when people are actually getting to the point where they're considering buying, they will almost always go to the description and read more about it so that they know exactly what they're getting when they buy it. So if your description doesn't give them all of the information that they need and more, and doesn't really draw them in, then you're not going to make that sale and you're going to lose it at the last minute. Also, going into your shop info, people on Etsy are going on Etsy to buy from small shop owners and to support real people. So they might go to your shop info and read a little bit about you and about who they are supporting, because that's something that generally people who are shopping on Etsy care about. They care about you and where their money is going and who it's supporting. So make sure you take the time to fill out your shop info and fill out your descriptions thoroughly, giving the customer every piece of information they might want to know about your listing and your item before they make that purchase. The fourth reason you might not be making sales on your Etsy is that you are not getting reviews. And this is really hard in the beginning because obviously you don't have any reviews when you first start out. But reviews help so much in the Etsy algorithm because they are proving to Etsy that people are liking what they're getting. And when that is proven to Etsy, Etsy will rank your listings higher in search and get more eyes on it and more sales. Also, when people go to look at your listings and look at your shop, if they see a positive review, then that makes them feel more comfortable to purchase from you. So some ways to get positive reviews are to, one, provide on the value that you promised to your customer, giving them what they want, but also going the extra mile, giving them more than they want. You can also do something like sending a message after they have received their item and giving them a discount code for future orders if they are willing to leave a review for you, or leave a card in your package asking them to leave a review and tell them that it supports your shop. Getting reviews will have a big impact on your sales and on your views and visits and all of that good stuff. So it's hard in the beginning, but it's definitely important to be getting those reviews. Number 5 kind of ties in with number 4, and it is, are you delivering on value and going the extra mile? So this has to do with knowing your target audience and knowing who you're serving and making sure that you're giving them what they want and a little bit more. It's not enough to just get the sale and then give them what they ordered. You really want to wow the customer and you want to over deliver, because that's what makes your shop get all those positive reviews and get all those return customers, and all of that is going to help in your SEO ranking and also in just the success of your shop overall. So make sure when you are making sales that you are delivering on the value and more. The 6th reason you might not be getting sales, and a question to ask yourself, is, are you updating your listings frequently? This is a small thing, but actually goes a long way in your search rankings, in the Etsy algorithm. Etsy likes to see that you are consistently going into your shop and making little updates and improvements and just keeping up to date and staying active on Etsy. It just proves to Etsy that you are serious about selling and that you are taking this seriously, like as a real business. Also that you are seeking to improve constantly. So this can be little things, just like going in and changing a few words in your description, updating your photos, even updating like the quantity of your items and changing out your tags, ones that aren't working, and switch them up for tags that could potentially rank you higher. Little things like that. You should be updating your listings at least once a week to continue to stay ranked high in Etsy search. The 7th reason you might not be making sales on Etsy is that you are not being authentic. So like I mentioned earlier, people go to Etsy to shop from real people and to support small shops and families and small businesses rather than supporting, big corporations. So what that means is that they value authenticity on Etsy. So you want to be sharing, like I said, you want to be sharing in your shop info a little bit about you, a little bit about what you do and your passion for it, and who is supporting your family or whatever the money is going toward. But also your brand and your shop and your brand identity in general should just breathe authenticity. You don't want just like cookie cutter stock photos and descriptions that kind of lack that real person talking kind of feel, because that's not what people are going to Etsy to shop for. If they wanted that kind of experience, they would go to Amazon or Walmart or whatever, but they're coming to Etsy for real people. So make sure that your photos have a unique, authentic feel to them and that your descriptions sound like they're coming from a real person explaining what the product is. And make sure your shop info is filled out with pictures of you and just let them in on who you are and what your brand is all about. The 8th reason you might not be getting sales, and this one is honestly a lot less important than the other ones that I mentioned, even though you might have thought initially it is like really important, it's really not as important, but it is important enough to mention. How do your prices compare to your competition? So when you go to set your prices, there are a number of factors to consider, and I'm not going to get into how to price your products because it's a very individualistic thing. But one important part of it is analyzing the competition and seeing how much other people charge for the same type of product. And you don't want your prices to be too low where they basically tell the customer that it's less valuable than other more expensive products, but obviously you also don't want it to be too high where the customer feels like it's not worth it compared to what other people are charging. Now, if your products are more quality and you can prove that to the customer, it is fine for you to charge a little bit higher than the competition, and I would say on Etsy it doesn't matter as much. For example, my bath bombs are a little bit higher than average on Etsy, but I use quality ingredients and I use herbs in my bath bombs and vegan, zero waste packaging and ingredients. And so when that matters to a customer, they're willing to pay a little bit more than like a cheap bath bomb with cheap ingredients and plastic packaging and all of that stuff. But I'm not going to charge, a crazy amount for my bath bombs because nobody would be buying them. So make sure your price reflects the quality of your product. Make sure that it is within a competitive range, in your market, and just kind of analyze that and do your research on that. 9th reason you might not be making sales in your Etsy shop is your photos. So are your photos quality photos? Are you using all 8? A lot of Etsy sellers I see only use 2 or 3 photos. You really should be using all 8. You should be showing your product from different angles. You should be showing the size if it's relevant, like comparing the size to another item so customers kind of know what they're getting. You can take pictures of the packaging, and definitely, if possible, include pictures of your product in use, or just a photo which gives the customer kind of a vision of what this will look like in their own life. I do have an entire video dedicated to how to take some professional looking DIY product photos on a budget. So I'll have the video linked right up here if you need some help with just photography and lighting and all of that kind of stuff. But make sure your photos are enticing and make sure that you are filling up as many photos as you can and showing the customer exactly what they're going to be getting through your photos. Okay, number 10, and the last reason you might not be making sales on your Etsy. This one kind of ties into are you being authentic, but it is, does your brand have a cohesive theme, or does it look like you're just slapping up a bunch of products hoping to make sales and make money? In my opinion, brand identity is really important on Etsy, and when people are going to your listings, a lot of times they will go into your shop as well and just look at your entire shop all together, all of the items you sell, your reviews, your photos, just everything about you. to kind of get a feel for your shop and your brand, and if this is something that they want to put their money towards, or if they want to just go and check out some other shop. So if your shop isn't cohesive, if every single listing doesn't breathe your brand and your colors and your values and just what you're all about, then that can really deter a customer, or maybe not deter them, but it definitely wouldn't entice them to shop from you and to leave a review and to come back. I do see a lot of Etsy shops just with tons of products just thrown up there, and I understand that because so many people tell you that you need to have like 100 products in your shop in order to see success. But obviously I only have 6 listings in my shop, actually 5 products but 6 listings. But because I feel my brand is very clear through my photos and my shop about page and just everything that I put out there on Etsy, I feel that that really draws people in and entices people and kind of makes an impact on them. Not in some crazy dramatic way, but just more so than if someone heads to a shop and they just see, you know, a bunch of different types of products thrown up there and they're like, who is this person? What is this shop? What are they about? What are their values? You know, is this something that I want to support? I don't even know. So that's something you should be keeping into consideration as well. Alright, that is it for this video. Those are the 10 reasons you might not be making sales in your Etsy shop. I hope that this kind of helped you think about some changes that you could make to start making those sales that you want to see. Please don't forget to check out my Facebook group and my Etsy Success Checklist, because I really want to help you succeed, and I don't want you to just watch this video and then click away. I really want you to stick around, and I want to help you get there, because I know firsthand how frustrating and difficult it is when you really want something to work and you really put your heart into something and then nobody is seeming interested and nobody is buying from you, and it's just like so discouraging and disappointing. And I don't want that to be your experience, and I do feel I have lots of value I can give you to help you see that rapid success that you so badly want. Okay, I am done rambling for this video. Don't forget to hit subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.